Let
All
it
right,
go.
hello and welcome to episode 72 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I'm your co-host Juan Martinez, and to my left or to my right, it's Jacques Slade who has turned heel all of a sudden on us. I don't know, Jacques. What's the deal, man? What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
What? How did I turn heel? Wait, how did it? What?
You heard me. You turned heel.
How did I turn heel? What is going on? What
The
are you
people
talking
turned
about?
on you, man. Did you not watch Hard Pass the past week? Remember when you
The
talked
people.
about like the Jordan 1 lows being on the football field and like people were like, how dare you, Jacques Slade? People just wear that for comfort. Or, hey, let people wear what they like, blah, blah, blah.
I
So
don't know
that's
if
why we didn't
turned
do that's why
heel.
we didn't do the podcast last week, because we had to let the heat die down because people were coming for you in the comments. And I was like, damn, man, why they mad? Why they mad?
I don't know. I don't know if turned heel is the appropriate way. I think it was just more of a. I think it's more of a misunderstanding. I think it's more of a misunderstanding. I think people took it as me saying, "Don't wear Jordan 1s. You're terrible people if you do," as opposed to, "Hey guys, there's a lot more options out there. Maybe you should try something different outside of the Jordan 1." And I think people
Exactly.
took it as probably didn't watch the whole video and they were just like, oh no, instantly I'm gonna rage and crash out, which is unfortunate. So they've got to watch the
Yeah.
whole thing and really listen. So if you
Yeah.
didn't go listen to the whole thing, go back and listen to it, because I don't heel turn is that's just very strong phrasing there. I think it's just
And you
all
had
a
the
big misunderstanding.
and you had the nerve to talk about Kanye again after you said you wouldn't talk about Kanye again, Jacques. I mean, it was just a whole week of you just being like the bad guy on sneaker internet for like a week. And I was like, man, and like the people came out with their pitchforks, like, finally, we got Jacques. We finally got him on something. Let's go get his ass. And it's like,
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
it's not that serious. It was, and I'll take the blame for it too. I'll take some of the heat for it. We could have done that segment a little bit more jokey. I think we even put there like, hey, you know what? It's the week between like the championship game and the Super Bowl. There's not really a lot of football things to talk about, but we want to talk about football. So we're like, let's come in from this perspective. And maybe we should have written it a little bit more sarcastically. Maybe up the sarcastic tone a little bit. At the same
Yeah, and
time,
I mean, and we also were very like, this is super unserious. Like, we
it
literally
was.
said, this is super unserious and bothers no one but me. But so again, I just think it was a misunderstanding. I was saying variety and they thought I was saying like, shut it down. And that's not, I think that's unfortunate. So now I see how people's words can get taken out of context. I guess I could only be like the good guy for so long. It was bound to happen that I was going to say something that people were going to be upset with. So I'm okay with it. Hopefully they watch the whole thing and realize like, oh, he's just saying variety, not saying
Yeah,
don't do it.
exactly. I just thought it was funny that those two things would happen within a couple of days of each other. And
Yeah.
I was like, man, like people just had some takes saved up for Jacques. They finally got to say something because,
Yeah.
you've just been the perennial good guy of the sneaker internets for so long. And it's like, oh, he finally said something that I can go get him with. And it's like,
Yeah.
dang, they just came for you. And I was like, whoa, hey guys. It's not like he actually said something serious, like he wasn't going to watch the Super Bowl halftime show or something like that. Oh, hey, or he was going to
Right.
watch the alternative or anything like that. God forbid. But man, I
Yeah.
just thought that was a pretty hilarious couple of hours when I saw that the reel that we put up, and I was like, "Whoa, well, look at all these." Oh, people were upset for some bizarre reason for a totally unserious bit that we did on
Totally
Hard Pass.
unserious. Like the fact that we said it's unserious. Well, to be fair, we didn't include the unserious part on. Did we
Right.
include the unserious part in
Like it wasn't the whole part. Like
the
there were.
reel?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't include the whole thing, but there were parts there that we said, "Hey guys, it's in between." I think we mentioned like it's in between the Super Bowl and like the conference. There's like that week. There's that dead content week in between. So we're like, "Hey, this is just not. not something to be taken seriously. It's just a small little nitpicky thing that I've noticed. And hey,
Yeah.
in the Super Bowl, I don't think anybody wore Jordan 1s. I know Cooper Cup wore those Kobe cleats. So mission accomplished.
Yeah.
You got what you wanted in the end. You bad guy. You
Yeah.
terrible sneaker
I turned
person.
myself into the bad guy somehow, but it's okay. It's okay. It happens. It happens. Sometimes you're gonna be the bad guy, and you can't make everybody happy all the time.
Yeah,
If
I mean,
that's your
you're like
goal.
LeBron when he made the decision, man. Like, he tried to wear like the bad guy hat for a little bit. It turns out it isn't actually what he wanted. And it's like,
Right.
oh wait, this is not I was gonna make a wrestling analogy, but I figured, oh no, we can't talk about that guy anymore. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
anyways,
It wasn't
anyways.
that bad either. So yeah.
It
It's
was it
okay.
was just a little bit more than the like, you do have your typical, like, disagree with your takes, which is fine and everything, but this one was just a little bit more than usual, and I just thought it was pretty funny from the perspective of like, "Huh,
Yeah.
it's just a
People were
goofy bit."
legit upset about it, which is fine.
Yeah. I mean, and it's fun to see that sometimes, right? It's fun to see sometimes the, people who have, like, this very passionate dissenting opinion about something you said. I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
we're never always going to be 100% with these things. Like, you can't expect to be someone, a public personality, to have takes, to have the opinions on the internet, to be 100% all the time. But it is funny that something that we thought was a little bit like, let's say, innocuous, not that
Yeah.
serious, is the one that set people off.
Is the
Like,
one
I'm pretty
thing that
sure,
people got upset about.
yeah,
Wrong take.
we've definitely had takes on the show where we thought, oh, this will probably not go well over. And we're like, oh, some people agreed. And they were like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But this one was just, haha, get it. It's just not that. Oh, no. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, here
And
we
then
go.
some like, "Oh, you still have time to take this down." Like, I love those comments, especially for something that's like so like unserious, like sneakers. Like, you still have time to take this down. Oh, it's not
We
like,
just,
where are we going? Where are we
what
going
are
with
we,
that?
what are we doing with that? It's okay, guys. It's okay. Well, yeah, no, I hope you enjoyed that brief moment, as a bad guy, Jacques.
As a bad guy.
No,
Yeah.
as a
Between
bad
that
guy.
and my take on the boneless Tims, I'm setting
Yeah, that's the
myself
other one
up
too.
here.
See, it was like a triple threat. It was like the boneless Tim's bit, the Kanye bit, and then the Super Bowl
Yeah.
thing. Man, but I think that was a little bit more harmless. I think, like, you're not a New Yorker. I
At
don't even think
all.
it's like a. It doesn't even seem like it's like a DMV thing. It seems like it's a very specific New York
Very New
thing
York, yeah. And
with
also
the
part of it
boneless
too is
Tims.
a
Uh
lot
huh.
of people think I'm from New York. Despite all the times I say LA and talk about the Lakers and I'm from LA and all those things, there is still a large contingent of people that think I'm from New York.
Your
Even like
hat on all
yeah.
of your content, most of your content, it's
Yeah,
LA.
I'll meet people in person like to this day, and they'll be like, "Oh, I thought you were from New York." It's just, the LA hat and New York hat, those are pretty like universal things that
Oh,
anybody can
sure.
technically wear, you know what I mean? So it
I guess.
doesn't necessarily mean you're from LA. You just could be like, "Oh, LA's cool, New York is cool," kind of thing. So,
Sure, sure.
it's like wearing a like wearing a Yankee hat. Like people
Which I've
all over the
worn. I've worn
world
a
wear.
Yankee hat on the show, so, like, yeah, it seems like
Yeah.
it's pretty interchangeable to people, huh?
Yeah,
Interesting.
and I
Never thought
think
of it that
LA
way.
is just as kind of interchangeable as the New York hat. So
Is it like one of those situations where you see, like, the first and the last letter of a word, and it doesn't matter what's in between? It could be, like, jumbled up and everything, but you'll know what that word is, and it seems like maybe it's the same thing with, like, an LA hat and New York hat. It's just that
yeah,
it's a hat, and it has, like, letters in it. It's probably either gonna mean LA or New York, It's
yeah,
kinda maybe that kinda
yeah,
because it's like an interlocking thing. So, interesting. Never thought about it that way, but yeah, like, Jacques with a New York accent would be kinda funny, like the New Yorker accent, like, "Hey,"
yeah.
that kinda thing,
Right,
right? That'd be funny. Yeah.
that part too. Yeah, I don't even have that. I can't even use that as a reason for people. People just think because I'm into sneakers that it's a New York thing. It's not an LA thing, but
Really? Huh.
it's all
That's
good. It's all
interesting.
good. It
Yeah.
happens.
No, 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 that's pretty cool, though. I mean, be nice. That's actually a funny bit, like, something I never really thought about before, but,
Yeah.
all right, so moving on with the actual show itself, but, let's talk about the Super Bowl. And by the Super Bowl, I mean the halftime show because the game was pretty ass. I barely
Yeah.
It wasn't the
Yeah.
most compelling matchup. And I didn't really know it was going to be a compelling wasn't going to be a compelling matchup because I thought, oh, hey, it's the Patriots. They're good again. Yay.
Yeah.
Or not. I don't know. But it turns out like they played like the weakest schedule in 25 years or something like that. And they got lucky during the playoffs. And meanwhile, the Seahawks have had like this dominant defense that is reminiscent of like, the previous era with like Richard Sherman and all those dudes back then. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was not the most fun game. I, for a moment there, thought the field goal kicker was gonna get the MVP for a while there because it was just like, "Oh,
Yeah,
he's got all the
basically.
points." I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
are we actually gonna get a kicker to get the MVP?
To get
Because
to
that'd
get
be
the
pretty
MVP,
funny."
that'd have been sick. That'd have been
Yeah,
pretty
would be
dope.
pretty funny. That'd be pretty funny. But,
Shout out to all the special teams folks out there. We know
exactly, exactly.
we don't get their special teams. We don't get a lot of love, but I respect.
Of course, of course. It's part of the game. It's part of the game, man. Like, the most popular football personality is a kicker, Pat McAfee. Like, he was a
Yeah.
kicker, and now he's like the biggest name out there for good or bad, whatever you want to feel about Pat. But
Yeah.
let's talk about the thing like sneaker related, I guess. The halftime
Yes.
show. So Bad Bunny, he's been wearing
Baboni.
his signature Bad Bow 1.0 out in the world. And yeah, no, we got a good look at it during the Super Bowl, during like press conferences and all that stuff. And I gotta say, and I've noticed it on socials and I've seen it kind of everywhere. And we've also talked about it like, on the Soul Retriever side of things. What is Adidas doing? Why are they not promoting this in the way that I think they should be promoting it?
Interesting.
When you look at if Nike had something like this, it'd be like plastered all over the place. Like when I saw that when Bunny did the trust fall, when he dropped
Mhm.
from like, the roof into like, the crowd and everything, and a picture came out of him, like, a perfect shot of him, like already like, like perpendicular, like, parallel to the ground and everything. And you could see like the sneakers are like in clear view. I thought, man, that would be instantly a thing. That would instantly
Yeah.
be a Nike social post. If Nike had done that, like, remember with the Saquon thing, right? When they did that
Yeah.
reverse huddle, I think it was like immediately after the game, they had something ready to go. But with Adidas, it's like crickets. It's almost, it's kind of odd to me that they've got the biggest musician at the moment and he's headlining the Super Bowl halftime show and they seem to have nothing. I mean, they released the shoes on the Confirmed app, I believe, but no advertising, no social hit, nothing to really speak of that you're like instantly like, "Oh, why how is there no t-shirt right away?" Like, with
Yeah.
this we talk about the Saquon thing. There was like a t-shirt within what is it, like a day or a week, whatever. They were starting to sell it, getting it ready to go. But with
Yeah.
Adidas, it's like nothing. And it makes you wonder about a couple things. Obviously, with the current political climate, they don't want to say anything that offends, the other side. And maybe Adidas, because they're a German company, they don't want to get involved with this kind of situation. Things are going on with the US. So it's just a couple of things that made me curious. But, when it comes to Nike, Nike would say something right away. Now, obviously, Nike has a lot of issues right now at the current moment in terms of like how they're handling everything, in terms of like, how they're being investigated for discrimination against white people. But I'm just curious to your thoughts about, Adidas not really, I don't know, meeting the moment's not weird, but like, or how they've chosen to, present themselves at this very moment when they've got the biggest superstar showing out in Adidas, but them not really saying anything about it.
Yeah, it's interesting as far as like the promotion of it goes.
Yeah.
I would expect them to be pumping more into the Bad Bunny stuff, but on the same, if we really think about it, a lot of the Bad Bunny stuff from the past years hasn't done extremely well. It's done
Mm,
okay, but
sure.
nothing has been like gangbusters when it comes to the stuff that Bad Bunny is doing. So
Hmm.
I'm not sure if they're not just kind of like hedging their bets against all of this stuff and just being like, we'll just kind of see what happens, see what the internet does. Generally stuff like this, the internet kind of takes over. Even like with the Kanye stuff when the Yeezys came out, like Adidas wasn't doing a lot of promotion for that stuff. That was either Kanye or really the internet hyping it up for them. And the
That's
internet
true.
isn't hyping up the Bad Bunny shoe for them, even though I think it looks good. I think it's a cool looking silhouette.
Hmm.
I think it's really dope. I love the color. Like it looks great in my mind. Like, okay, this is right in spot on line with Adidas, what they should be doing on the lifestyle side of things. It feels a little bit like a fear of God thing. Has a
Mm,
little bit of fear of God vibes to it for me, but it's also very much in line with, the lifestyle sort of design language that comes out of Adidas. I personally like it. As far as like highlighting Super Bowl moments, I imagine, and someone in the comments can fact check me on this one, but I would imagine it's because Nike has the NFL deal right now, and that's why they could turn
sure.
around that Saquon stuff so quickly. And
Hmm.
Adidas obviously doesn't have that deal, and so I'm assuming that's why we're not seeing some of those moments being highlighted by Adidas. Now, could they be doing a better job? Yes, of course. I think at all times everyone could be improving, and Adidas doesn't feel like they're all in for Bad Bunny. It seems like they're making things and putting it out there and just kind of seeing what happens.
Right.
Whereas I feel like this moment in time, with what he's doing, what he has done, this should have been an elevation moment, and they didn't really elevate this launch the way that I think they could have.
Yeah, no, it feels like Bad Bunny, his fans, and everybody else really is doing the job for
Hmm.
that. And like I said, the sneakers launched on the Confirmed app, and it's sold out. So maybe this is the start of that. Maybe Adidas, maybe now they see that they've made a shoe for Bad Bunny, because previously they've been collabs with like previous
Yeah.
models,
Yeah.
and some have sold out, some have not performed as well. You're right. It's been hit or miss pretty much. It's not like the Kanye situation where when the Yeezys first started coming out, sell out. Doesn't matter what colorway, doesn't matter what silhouette. It was sold out, sold out, sold out. Some hung on a little bit longer than others as the years went on. But with Bad Bunny, they had a tendency to hang on to stores
Right.
longer than like the Kanye stuff. So, but with the Bad Bo 1.0, now that this is his own shoe that has his name on it, his branding and everything, this feels like maybe this is the moment where they maybe take it to the next level, or they don't. Well, it's just a matter of like, seeing what happens. And you're right. It may have something to do with the Nike having that NFL license where they can just pretty much do whatever they want in this situation. And even though it was like the
Hmm.
halftime show, maybe, Adidas doesn't have, the licensing deal the same
Yeah.
that, that Nike has, where they can pull that image and make that a shirt or make that like, a moment right away and even post it on socials. You're right. There's always a possibility of that as well. But I figured just because of, the moment, the situation, everything's going on and everybody paying attention to what he's going to do, you
Hmm.
figured Adidas would at least have something, even if it wasn't like an image directly taken from the Super Bowl, they would have like started hyping the shoe up, like, putting ads and everything together, or even having something ready today, the day
Yeah.
after the Super Bowl, something ready to go that gets people aware that, yes, Bad Bunny, that shoe that you saw that he wore in the Super Bowl, yes, that is coming, or that is more colorways are coming on the way. There's going to be
Yeah.
more to come and you'll be able to pick them up at some point. So, yeah, it's just an interesting decision on Adidas's part, and, obviously, there are things behind the scenes that we don't always know, and as you are fond to say, they're the brands, they tend to be smarter than us. They have, like, insights to things that we don't know about, so maybe there's just stuff that they can't do at the moment, but
Yeah.
at the same time, you just really thought that this would be something where Adidas could meet the moment, and it feels like for just the general conversation, it feels like they didn't. Like Bad
Yeah.
Bunny did. Bunny certainly did. His people certainly did. The crowd, the energy and everything. That show was amazing. That was great to watch. But, you figured his partner in this situation, his footwear partner would also be there too. But other than just
Yeah.
providing the shoe itself, which is of course a big deal. But yeah, you figured there'd be a little bit more there.
Yeah, figure they would show up a little more, but it is what it is. It happens sometimes. We'll see what happens in the future. I think Adidas's hands are tied for the most part, and that's probably
Sure.
why, because it was NFL specific. But that doesn't prevent them from doing things outside of the Super Bowl that they could be getting the community hyped about. And I think there's a moment missing about getting that energy behind him.
Totally, totally. All right, so moving on to our next thing, Jacques. We didn't do a podcast last week because of scheduling reasons and because you turned bad for a little bit.
True.
Yeah, but before that, the week before, you were actually at a place that I never figured you would ever be at again. Like, doing something that I didn't think you would ever do again. Because I thought we were like, man, I thought we were too old for this shit.
Oh,
And that was the launch for the Costco Dunks.
yes.
Nike and Costco collaborated on an SB Dunk, and it's got the Kirkland signature branding. You've got like your neat little, reference to the glizzies, the hot dogs, whatever you want to call it. And
Yeah.
Jacques Slade has a pair of them. And how was he able to get them? Because he found out that like one of 8 Costcos around the country was going to stock them. And one of
Yeah.
them happened to be within driving distance for both of us.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I had appointments in the morning, wasn't able to make it there on time, but you were able to make it there on time. I kind of just want to get a vibe for how was the launch?
So the launch was amazing. Honestly,
Mhm.
every sneaker launch should be at Costco because this was like there was no problems. It was everything was run very smoothly. It was very efficient. There were no challenges at all. It was everybody was respectful. It was a good sneaker launch. They just did a good job. It's hard to put it into, you hear so much about sneaker launches being botched and being terrible. But part of this could be because it was early in the morning and nobody knew, and maybe
Mhm.
that's why. And
Yes.
maybe that's a lesson to like these skate shops and these brands that you got to be better about the information and holding on to that information and not sharing that information with people, because when you do, that allows a lot bigger crowd and allows things to kind of get out of hand. And in this situation, we did not know until literally the morning that
Mhm.
something was happening,
Yeah.
and everybody that could ran out that day. If you had to go to work that day, you basically, or you had appointments like you did, you missed out. And
Yeah.
I think that's the fun part about it. Like that made it fun. The line was pretty long. They had 513 pairs at the Costco that I went to, and they went through all of them. It probably took about an hour and a half. I
Yeah.
got there about 8:45, 8:30, 8:45. The store opened at 9 for executive members. That's my Costco flex that I'm an executive member. And yeah, everything went smoothly. People got in, got their kicks, and left. Although some people looped back in to get a second pair, but we won't judge them. I
But
get it.
that's pretty neat though. Like there were people who were actually able to get a second pair. Like, to be fair, I think I did ask you like, hey man, would it be possible for you to get a pair too? But
Yeah.
and that would have been doable, at a certain point. But yeah, no, I think that's pretty cool. Now, was the line separated between people who wanted to get the shoes and like your aunties or your grandmas or your uncles who wanted
Yeah.
to like just go get their chicken or their eggs or something like that? Or was it like one line all together?
No, it started out as one line, but then once
Okay.
they realized that people were there just to shop and not buy shoes, they started to
Uh-huh.
separate the two.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
And even like there was a couple people that were in line in front of me, and they were like, "What's going on? Why are there so many people here?" And I know is explaining to them. It's very explaining to someone that you're standing in line early in the morning to buy sneakers feels very silly. It makes you feel very silly. I mean, when you really think about the whole concept of collecting sneakers as a whole, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know I know how this sounds, but trust me, it's cool. It's cool. Trust me. Um, and so a couple of people, yeah, they just got out of line and went to a separate line. And then when they let you
Oh,
in,
okay.
they filtered the line into like two paths. Like even once you
Mm,
got in, the Costco Dunk people went straight to the left and lined up against the wall. Versus if you're
mhm,
just shopping, you just went into the store. And then they had
got it.
actual employees there handing out shoes and things like that. So you couldn't skip into the line. You had to be with the. Yeah, you had to go into the Costco line, and then they gave you a ticket, and then you
Oh,
handed over
okay.
the ticket, and then they gave you a shoe. Yeah, it was very well organized. Here, unlike the one in New York where they just had the shoes just there,
Yeah. Yeah,
which was
apparently.
different. Yeah, different than here. Here they had them under a tent, and you had to get a ticket before you could actually grab your pair. It was
My guess is
completely
someone at
different.
Costco is like a sneakerhead and probably knew, hey guys, we can't just dump it like, at a spot and pretend it's like Pokemon cards. And people
Yeah.
just gonna go try to like, fight for it or try to try to ride over. Cause I've also seen videos of people fighting at a Costco for Pokemon cards. And
Oh,
yeah, it's not the most civil, I would say, because all of these people are just trying to, resell them
yeah.
as is the case. Because Pokemon cards, apparently, they're still huge. Shout out to Psyduck. He was also in the Super Bowl commercial, like,
Yep,
last
yep,
last
saw
night.
that.
I was like, "That's my dude! He did it! We made it!"
Yeah. Yeah, well, my
Thought that was
daughter was
hilarious.
like, "This is the best Super Bowl commercial ever."
I thought it was pretty funny. Psyduck was there, and like Charles Leclerc, like the F1 driver, was also there. I was like, wait a minute, what's he doing there too? So that was a little fun, little bit. But yeah, no, going back to the Costco of it all, like I've seen Costco lines that are peaceful and like just
Mm,
everybody just quietly lining up and picking up their things, and then you've got the stores where clearly they don't have people who are in the world in the know and just
mm.
dump it like at a spot and just let people have it, and you're like, oh. Okay, I guess it's a free for all at this store. So maybe in that particular location in LA, they probably had people who are into sneakers or at least have an understanding of how sneaker launches can get. And like,
Yeah,
yeah, we need to do this properly
just
so we don't get in
organized,
the news.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I
let's
think they
not be on the
had
news.
there were a couple of Pokemon people in the line as
Oh,
well.
maybe something was launching there too. Maybe the same day.
No, I think that, just resellers and people that resell
Ah,
Pokemon cards
sure,
resell whatever they can
sure.
get their hands on. So I
That's
think
right.
that that store had a couple of Pokemon incidents or had a couple of Pokemon launches. I shouldn't say incidents. That's a bad phrasing.
Probably just probably launches. Yeah.
They've had a couple of Pokemon launches, and so I
Mhm.
think they just took that framework and that's how they set everything up, just because they know how crazy things can get.
Yeah, yeah. And I wanted to tie this into to the Air Jordan 3 Levi's rollout, which was also in San Francisco. And I saw pictures there of like, same thing, peaceful lineup. And I
Hmm.
saw that they were actually handing out like, Chinese food to everybody in line. And I saw the food inside. I was like, oh, like this is not just some haphazard. They just went to wherever and got it. There was like a pork bun and like gyoza and like an egg roll, like I was like, "Oh, wow." Like, someone went to Chinatown and, like, just bought a whole, like, stack of, like,
That's
food.
cool.
Went Yeah, and, like, a cup of coffee along with it too. Like, it was branded, like, the container had, like, the Jordan and the Levi's logo, and then there was, like, a nice
Ah,
setup of food, not just, like, a dump of, like, whatever, or they actually gave something, right? And I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, look at this, like, a nice organized lunch." And it got me to thinking about, like, you talked about skate shops and other, like, stores, and you talk about, like, how chaotic it can be, how it can be, like, a mess, and it makes me wonder, like, I wonder if, like, these shops like it that way, where they want the mess.
mm,
They want the chaos because it brings attention to their store, and because, "Oh, peaceful launch doesn't do anything for our brand," and I'm like, "Guys, I think if you do a peaceful launch, I think people will actually be more inclined to shop with you." They'll see, like,
yeah,
"Oh, it's not a total disaster over there. I can go to that shop peacefully and not have to worry about any sort of nonsense."
yeah,
And, we kind of have to get away from that thinking. I get it, Costco is a big conglomerate. And, this Nike Levi's thing, you've got Nike and Levi, Jordan and Levi's working on this thing together. It's not the same as like an independent skate shop or an independent boutique or anything like that where they have to drive attention to themselves. But I think
yeah,
it'd be nice if they tried to be like, "Hey, we're the nice ones over here. Ain't no mess gonna happen here. Nothing there's no craziness over here. Y'all can shop in
yeah,
peace over here." I think that would be a worthwhile advertisement for them. Like, we don't do gimmicks. We don't make you skate. We don't make you do tricks. We don't make you do anything. It's just to be nice and peaceful. Everybody's gonna have a good time. Unfortunately, not everybody's gonna get a pair that they want, but we want to make sure our customers are happy and they're not leaving complaining and posting on social media that it's a mess over here.
right. Yep, agreed, agreed. And Costco does not have to worry about that. It was excellent. Kudos to the staff at the Costco, because they really made it easy for everyone to get what they wanted, to get in, to get out. Only gripe I have is I
Mm.
wanted to get the Costco ticket that says the shoe and the
Oh.
model, like the pricing things that they
Oh,
have at
okay, okay.
Costco,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and they wouldn't let you take one home because they would what they would
Damn.
do is they would give it to you. That was your ticket, and it had like your
Mhm,
little number on it, like
mhm.
1 through 513. So whatever your number was, it was written on there.
Sure, sure, sure.
And I was trying to take it home. I was like, even if you, I was like, oh, okay, you guys can rip it and just give it back to me, and I'll take it home. And they were like, no. So that's the only gripe I had is that we couldn't take that part home.
Now, the most important thing though, Jacques, is, what did you take home along with you? How was your Costco run besides the sneakers? Did you
Oh, I
buy
didn't
some
get
chicken?
anything
Did you buy
else.
hot
I didn't.
dogs? Did you
No, no, no. I didn't
Oh.
buy anything else. I literally just got the shoes, and then I went to the food court and made videos.
And I know that Costco location because when I saw the really post, I'm like, "Oh, I know where that is. I know that exact
Yeah.
spot."
Yeah, literally
Shout
just
out to
made a
that.
video soon right afterwards.
Was anybody like, "What is this guy doing?
Yes.
Is he
Yeah,
making"
there was a
Oh,
couple
okay.
of people, again, people there. First of all, there's people there eating pizza and hot dogs at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, what is going on with you people? What is
At
this the
9 in the
middle of
morning,
your
they're buying
day?
fresh pizza?
Yeah, yeah. There's people buying pizza and hot dogs at 9 in the morning. I'm like, wait, is this your lunch break? Like, are you just getting off at not? Anyway? But
Maybe
yeah,
they worked the late shift. Maybe they worked the late shift.
maybe,
You
yeah. And
never
I was gonna
know.
say maybe they worked the late shift, but there were a
Yeah,
couple of people there while I was making my video, and they were asking like, what's going on? What's because they saw the line, and they see
right.
people coming out with these shoes, so they're curious as to like what's happening and why people are like going crazy over this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had, like, fresh pizza at 9 o'clock. I've had pizza at 9 o'clock, but that was from the night before.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's
yeah,
different. Feels
reheated
different.
pizza. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's reheated pizza or cold pizza, whatever. But,
yeah.
yeah, fresh pizza at 9 AM, that's an
It's a,
interesting move.
yeah,
Interesting
it's a
move.
new one. It's a new one.
Yeah. Mm. Might have to give that a shot someday if I'm at Costco that early.
And that early, use that executive membership. Get there early in the morning.
Heck yeah, that's what you got. Yeah, that's what you gotta have, and I love that in the Costco Dunk that it has executive membership card. I was like, "Aw,
Yeah.
that's a nice little touch there." I will say though, like, people have been talking about, like, how this has been, like, a neat launch and everything, and, in terms of, like, the brand Costco, how it's associated with Nike and all that stuff, and I was think people are talking about, like, what could be next? What would be a good brand that could have this kind of, like, positivity surrounding around it, and I just wanna
Mhm.
make the pitch out there to Nike, Jollibee. Jollibee, AKA the, number 1 rated fast food chain for apparently 2 years now, because I don't know where these surveys come out, but apparently all the Filipinos vote for it, and that's why it's always number 1.
That's
But,
funny.
hey, Nike, if you guys want, like, all the positive vibes, all the positive energy, work with Jollibee. You guys will not regret it. And they've done a lot of stuff with the Philippines before. They've collaborated on Kobe's. Jordan Brand has done stuff with like the Air Jordan 4 Manila and all that stuff, despite my objections to it. But if we ever saw a Nike SB Dunk Jollibee, whoo, best believe that will get people going, and
I
it'll be
I I
fun.
agree with that. I agree
I
with
need to
that.
see. I need to see that.
All right, I respect that. I respect that. I've only had Jollibee once in my life, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's
There's
very
not there's
good
not a
stuff.
lot of them. There's not a lot of them
It's
in my
surprising, like, in
area.
your area, I figured there'd be, like, Jollibee there because it's pretty much like a Southern California all over the place now thing,
Yeah,
so
yeah, you would think so, but they don't have them up in the Santa
yeah,
Clarita.
wild, but
Yeah.
yeah, what you gonna do? But anyways, yeah, no, Nike, you're listening, maybe some do. Jollibee, it'll be good. You guys will not regret it. Well, they will love it, especially if they ever do a launch in the Philippines. Oh my goodness, that would be that
That's
would be
funny.
something to see. I might even fly back home just to see that, just to see like the pride of like our people, just to see like
Wow.
how happy they would be to have a pair of SB Dunks, because that would just be like
Wow.
justifying a whole lot of things. So, but anyways, yeah, I would love to see that Jollibee Nike SB. Let's make that happen. But
Okay. I hear you. I hear
yeah,
you.
absolutely, absolutely. Anyways, moving on to our next thing, Jacques. It's NBA All-Star Weekend.
I
Crazy
know,
that
it's
we're talking about this.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually happening this week in LA at the other place.
At the other place. That's
We joke. We have
funny.
a lot of Clipper friends who I've actually had one in particular. It's not Air Mag. Everybody thinks it's Air Mag when I talk about these kinds of things. Shout out to my homie Air Mag. But I do have like another friend who's a big Clipper fan, and every once in a while he'll just text me be like, What, did you really have to go there? I'm like, yeah, it's funny.
It's very funny, honestly.
It's quite funny. You know, it's just fun. It's fun to pick on y'all. What you gonna do? But
Right.
anyways, it's NBA All Star Weekend, and of course, there's a lot of sneakers dropping. And I've heard talk about like Nike's warning label collection being the best in a very long time.
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
I gotta say, I kind of have to agree with the sentiment. I was actually at the Grove. Was it like on Friday night or Saturday? I forget what it was. And they've actually got like a nice setup for the All Star stuff. Like they've got
Oh, nice.
yeah, basically banners of like LeBron. I think it was like Giannis, Wemby, Sabrina.
Yeah. That it's interesting because the Grove is so far from Inglewood. I
Yeah,
wonder I wonder how much traffic, all-star traffic they're gonna get over there because,
yeah,
Inglewood's on basically the other side of town, or
yeah,
2 towns over, to be fair.
yeah,
So, it'll be interesting to see how that all how how much traffic they get out there. Huh.
yeah. You wonder with all of the events probably taking place in LA proper, downtown, Hollywood, maybe things are taking place there, obviously at the Grove. Anta has their big old thing at Beverly. I've actually seen that store. I passed by it and I was like, oh, Anta has a
Yeah.
store here. And, they're going to do a thing there with Kyrie and Clay. And then you've got
Yeah.
like, that Anta Land thing that they're promoting that's going to be at the Santa Monica Pier. And people think it's, oh, you're in LA. It's going to be all in like in this one spot. I'm like, no, it's LA. That means it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be hell to get from one
Everywhere.
place to
Yeah.
another.
It's gonna be challenging. It's definitely gonna be
it's
challenging. It's not
it's
gonna be
not gonna
fun.
be it's not gonna be easy to get from one place to another because if you think about it, it's like, oh, wait a minute. So there's something in Santa Monica, which is so far away from something at the Grove, which is so far away from the actual event, which is in Inglewood. It's like, woo, man.
Yeah.
For anybody who's trying this for the first time, who's like, whether it's you're into sneaker media or you're just a fan coming to LA just to experience this whole thing, yeah, get ready for a ride, literally, because you're gonna be all over the place if you want to experience a lot of these things, because it's not gonna be all in one place.
Not at
It's
all. You're
yours.
gonna be all over the place.
But back to the sneakers themselves, what are your thoughts on like the warning label pack?
I think the collection looks really great. I saw, like most things, they leaked early. And so we got a good look at them. And I think they put together a really complete package. Like the design language is super clear, the aesthetic is super clear. It's one of the few times we've seen an all star collection married to a theme this closely across all of the silhouettes so
Mhm,
that it's instantly recognizable. Most times you see stuff like this for All Star and everything feels a little disconnected. It may follow the same theme, but it doesn't feel as connected to each other. And this is one of the few times where everything feels like it's part of the same collection and it's connected. So I think it's a great move for Nike basketball.
yeah.
And I'm sure they'll get lots of learnings coming out of this one. And we'll see what that turns into for future collections when it comes to NBA All Star.
Yeah, and thankfully it happened here in LA because it's
Yeah.
always nice when like something like that happens around like where you're from, and it's like, oh, cool, they put the effort. Because sometimes you
Yeah.
see like these past couple of years, it's like, did they really try? Did they really try
Y-
this year?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But because it's in LA, it's like, oh, oh, well, of course they have to try because it's in the city of champs, city of
Yeah. We got
champions,
to
and
put
everything.
something. We got to put something together for real. For
We
real.
we gotta try, we gotta try,
Yep.
but yeah, and I'm also interested to see, like, what the other brands also have, because we've seen, like, what Adidas is doing. I don't know if they're gonna go crazy like they did the last time where they just where was that one area, like, in downtown where they just pretty much, like, a whole bunch
Oh,
of
yeah.
warehouses.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a
That's
whole crazy
right.
thing. It was almost like a theme park over there, that year when Adidas did that. They had
Yeah.
I believe it was also the time where I think I saw Kanye there, Childish Gambino, and I'm like, "Man, dang, you
Yeah. That was
guys
a
really
busy
went all out that
weekend.
year." That was very much a busy weekend anyway. But yeah, looking forward to that this coming week. I am here LA adjacent, but I've been out of the game for a little bit, so who knows? I might pop up at a thing or two. I know you're going to be out there. campaigning, being like, the
Champagning
superstar that you
campaigning.
are, the rock star that you are. Everyone's gonna be like, Jacques Slade, I'm a big fan. Until
Wow.
you told us about that, super the cleat stuff, man. You got to get off that stuff, man.
Wow.
Why you gotta be a bad guy? Why you gotta be a bad guy? But
I don't even know
this
how
is
to
the
address this.
what's the okay. Not This is not a joke. I'm not saying this as a joke. I think I'm coming at this as, as a fan, as a friend, and also as a fan. Over under of people asking you for selfies. What do you think is going to be the number? What do you think is a fair number that I can make like an over under right now? Like, what do you think is a
I
fair
might
number of
I
you
might get
selfies?
I might get like 5
Five
over yeah, 5.
over
I
the
would say
weekend?
like 5.
Over the weekend?
Yeah, over the week. Yeah, probably like 5 over the weekend. Yeah.
Okay, so let's put the number at 3.5.
3 and
So
a half.
do you think we're going over or under on that one? I'm gonna say over. I think we're gonna get over 3.5.
I think I would imagine it would be over 3, but
Maybe 4.5.
also
Maybe 4.5 is a better number. 4.5 is a better number.
yeah, 4
A
and a
little
half.
bit
Yeah,
more.
I would say 5. Yeah, 5
That's
is
a
5 is a safe number.
five is
5
the
is a
same.
safe
Yeah. Okay.
number. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So, we for anybody who's any of those prediction markets or any of that nonsense that's going on right now, if you want to put some money on the numbers selfies Jacques Slade is going to get over the weekend,
That's funny.
let's. I'm only just starting to learn about that stuff, and it just makes me depressed for the world. It's just, what are we doing here,
It's what we
guys?
do, baby.
Oh my
The world we
god.
live in.
Yeah. Well, anyways. All right, Jacques. It's almost at that time. We're about to say goodbye. But before we do that, it's time for everybody's favorite sneaker segment. It's Sneaker Mount
Sneaker
Rushmore
Mount
Plus
War
time.
Plus.
Pew, 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 pew,
Yeah.
pew, pew,
Pew,
pew,
pew, pew,
pew,
pew.
pew. So, anyways, for this week, since it is NBA All Star Weekend, let's do the NBA All Star Game Sneaker Mount Rushmore Plus.
I like
So, the
that.
rules
Let's
for
do it.
this one. Yeah, yeah. So, for the rules for this one, the categories are going to be a Jordan brand sneaker, a Nike sneaker, an Adidas sneaker, one that was worn on All-Star Saturday, and a wild card.
Okay.
So Jacques, I went first. I believe I went first last time. So you have the honors of going first. And of course, again, this is snake draft rules. So after you go, I
Okay.
pick twice.
Okay. So for mine, because we're starting with Jordan, so
Yes.
there's lots of choices here, but I think I have to go with the one that like there's ones that I like, but there's one that I wore and beat them up to death.
Sure. Sure.
And it was the New Orleans Air Jordan 1, so the Air Jordan Chameleon,
Yeah.
the Air Jordan 1 Chameleon. So like I wore that pair into the ground, and it's the only as I think about it, it's the only all-star sneaker that I think that I wore that much to where like I don't even wear them anymore because they're so beat up. Like they're so
Wow.
trashed. Like
Wow.
I really wore those shoes into the ground. And I don't know what it they were just comfortable. They fit with a lot of different outfits. They somehow they became my everyday, everywhere you go shoes, and I just beat them up. So for me, I feel like I have to go with that because I don't, and there's no other NBA All Star sneaker that I have that I
Hmm.
wore and I beat up like that. So
Yeah.
that has to be on my Mount Rushmore.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good pair. And I remember that particular colorway too. And that's like, it's just pretty versatile, right? Like it's something that you can
Yeah.
wear with just a lot of fits. It's just because it's that color shifting run, right? Like it seems like it's
Yep.
just like depending on how the light bends, like it
Yeah.
becomes like different colors and everything. So that's the chameleon thing. That works out well with like a lot of different outfits. So yeah, no, that's a good pick. And I can imagine it does get beat up after a while. But
Yeah,
just
and I beat him up so bad. So like I kind of have to. I don't feel like I can pick another shoe because there's no other shoe that I wore as
yeah.
much as that pair.
Totally, totally. All right, so for my pick, I'm gonna go with I don't know, like it's weird. Do I say it's historic because of just the moment that it happened? But I'm gonna go with the Air Jordan 7 Bordeaux because I feel like
Mm,
that was the first time that we saw like a special colorway for an all-star game or like, an all-star
yeah,
weekend or whatever, right? Because prior to that, MJ just wore. It's weird to say he just wore like a legendary sneaker during he wore the black infrared sixes during All-Star game. Like that's not a big deal, but the
Yeah.
Bordeaux was a little bit different because I think it did come out during that All-Star weekend. Was that like 92 or something? But it just felt so different from your typical Air Jordans. Like it was not your typical white and red or black. It's not even like blue. It's just this very specific styled color. What it was, named Bordeaux after like wines and all that stuff. I'm not even sure if they
Hmm.
really talked about that back in '92, but it looked different. It looked like something that was like, specially made for an event like the All-Star game, whether they meant it or not.
Yeah.
And it kind of set the road, for us eventually to start seeing like, special sneakers that would only be worn during All-Star game, right? MJ never wore the Columbia 11s except for that one time during like the 96 game. And
Mm.
then, it just kept going after that. Like, eventually other athletes started doing it. And now we are at this road now where like we get special packs just for All-Star weekend. So
Yeah.
gotta go with the Air Jordan 7 Bordeaux just because it feels like that's where everything's kinda kicked off in terms of making All-Star, like, a special time for sneakers. So,
Yeah.
gonna go with that for the, Bordeaux. For Nike, I feel like this is an easy one just because of the excitement around it during the time. I'm gonna go with the, Foamposites, the Galaxy Foamposites.
Yeah, that's
It
a
was
good
also
one.
in the game. Rajon Rondo wore it during like the 2012 All-Star game. And of course, everybody remembers the excitement over them, the hype over them, the craziness over them. We really could maybe if Costco had handled that release, it would have gotten a lot more peaceful. Um, if Nike had just dropped the Galaxy Foamposites at Costco, and, we could have had sneakerheads lining up, and it would have been funny if, like, your auntie who just has no idea what shoes are, they just bought it. They're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna buy this for my nephew because I know he likes shoes, so I just bought it for
Yeah.
him. And here's some chicken too, $5."
That's funny.
But, yeah, no, it would have like yeah, so I gotta go with the Galaxy Foamposites and, just because of, like, the moment and how everything kinda changed afterwards, in terms of, like, just the trajectory of sneakers, culture, Foamposites, name it, you name it. It was just everything kinda changed after that weekend.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. If I So I have to go with Nike. There's so many choices with Nike. I'm like looking
Yeah.
around the room now because there's a couple that I want to. I'm looking back and forth. Like, no, don't say that one. Um, I think this is a tough one because there's so many good all-star sneakers from Nike. I think I'm gonna go with a Kobe. I always like bringing Kobe into the mix.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go with the one that's actually releasing this year, the 3D Hollywood that released
Yeah.
way back in 2011.
10 or 11? 10
So
or 11? Yeah, one of those,
10,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
10 or 11. I feel like that was All Star. So
Oh,
I'm
11.
gonna
It was
go
11. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
11. Yeah,
Mhm.
the Kobe 6. So I'll go with that one, a 3D hologram on that. That's such a again, I think that the Kobe 6 was such a great sneaker just in general. Everybody like loves the Kobe 6 just in general. And I feel like that colorway is a standout for me. So I'm gonna go with that one for my Nike pick. It's a hard one for the next one for Adidas. There's you know what? I think you gotta go with the Yeezy 350. Was it the
Mm.
350 that was All-Star Weekend? Wait, was it the 50?
No, no, no,
350?
it was
Hold
the
up.
7 it was the 7 whatever what is it, 7
The
whatever it was? This No, 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 it was the 7, the one that came out during All-Star, like, when it debuted,
Yeah.
right? No, it was the
The
Yeezy 7
was it
what
the
number was it again?
700?
Was it the 7 No, it wasn't the 700, that was the 750, it was the 750, that was the one that came out during
750.
All-Star, yeah.
Yeah,
Which All-Star was
750.
that? Was
That
that
was like it was the one in New York, I think. I think it was
New
in
York?
the I don't remember what year that was.
Yeah, 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 like, I thought it was Toronto, but I think I'm wrong, like,
Oh,
because I just
maybe
remember
maybe
there's
it
that picture.
was.
Wasn't there like
May
it was like an Adidas store and Kanye was actually handing out the shoes too or something like
Oh,
that?
yeah, no, so that was 2015, and it was in New York City. Yeah,
Oh, you're
Yeezy
in New
Boost
York, okay, okay.
750.
Yeah.
Yeah, 750. That was such a big deal. That was such a big
Of
deal.
course.
That was
Absolutely.
massive deal. I remember I was there with Nick, Ingval, and Brandon Edler, and
Yeah.
Brandon got a pair, and
Oh,
we were, like, so pumped and hyped for him because he got a pair, So yeah, you got to go with that one for Adidas, even though it's not technically like a all-star sneaker. You kind of have
Yeah.
to go with that one just because it was such a big moment.
Well, we're going around the weekend and everything, basically around that
Yeah,
time, what was like the crazy thing.
yeah.
No, that's tough because you went with like the big one. That was gonna be tough to like to top that, and I don't think I can. I will say though, when you said that everybody loves the Kobe six, I feel like every time everybody says that, I kind of have to like squint a little bit because I'm the person who's like, no,
Mm,
not everybody. I feel like I feel like everybody loves the Kobe six, and I always feel like the worst person in the world when I say I'm not really feeling the Kobe sixes. I like the
mm.
fours and the fives, but the sixes just kind of didn't do anything for me. They feel great, feel good to play in. They play good to hoop in, but in terms of looks, I feel like a hater every time like people fawn over the Kobe sixes. It's just like,
Wow. I mean, it just means you're
yeah.
a bad person. That's all.
Oh wow, damn,
That's all. I mean, let's be clear. I mean, let's
damn. I guess
call it for
Juan
what it
turned heel
is.
this week.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I always
funny.
feel like everybody's like so happy, like especially now, right? With Caitlin Clark wearing like all these Kobe six PEs and people just tripping out over them and buy like just being like the popular retro. All the players in the NBA loving everything. I just feel so left out. I'm just like, not
Yeah, you're
not a
over it. Okay.
fan, not a fan, not a fan. Just something about them just doesn't speak to me. Kobe fours and fives, love them to death, love them. They're great, but the six, I don't know.
Okay.
Feel like I'm seeing something here that no one else is, or I feel like I'm the bad guy in this situation. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see
Mm.
how that goes. But all of this is to just delay the inevitable of me picking an Adidas shoe that cannot compare to the one that you picked. uh, I'm gonna go with the Bape Adidas Dame 4. That
That's a
was
good
again
one. That's a good
going back
one.
to the All-Star weekend. That was the last time it was here in LA, where they had that big old installation out in downtown with all the warehouses and everything. That was the big Adidas shoe at the time that they dropped because it was a collaboration with Bathing Ape and Dame. And yeah, no, it was just a big deal at that time, and people just loved that sneaker, and so do I. And I thought it was pretty neat. And unfortunately, Adidas was not giving me a pair of that. They gave me the Harden, one of the Hardens. It was like, oh come on, guys, you couldn't hook it up with the Bapes. Come on, what are we
That-
doing here? Come on. I was like, I remember going to the gifting suite. Like it was like one of the warehouses, and we went up to whatever floor it was, and there was like a gifting suite, and people were getting their sneakers and everything. And I was like, oh, cool. I might get the big Dame thing. And I got like a pair of the Harden volume, whatever it was that year. And I was like, oh, thanks, guys. I'm gonna go
ah,
back downstairs now and be sad because I'm not cool enough to get the cool sneaker. But
that's funny.
anyway, so I'm gonna go now. Thanks,
That's
appreciate you.
hilarious.
So for my pick for Saturday, just because of the All-Star events during that time, the Saturday night ones, I gotta go with got it. When it comes to like the dunk contest, obviously there's like a lot of iconic sneakers that came out at that time. And keep an eye out. I like again, full disclosure, I work with the Soul Retriever guys. I did a big feature on the best dunk contest sneakers and what they wore and all that stuff. And I had to pick the best dunks from every year and with whatever sneaker they were particularly wearing at the time. And
Mm,
yeah, man, I'm going to go with the Air Jordan 3 white cement from 1988 that Michael Jordan wore when he won the 1988 slam dunk contest. Well, one should be in quotation marks because let's be honest, Dominique Wilkins did win that dunk contest. But MJ had the home cooking of Chicago, and yeah, that's how that goes sometimes. But he did wear the Air Jordan 3 white cement, and so I gotta go with that one. Can't really hate on it. To be fair though, I will say though, after rewatching these old dunk contests, MJ did get robbed in one year. I think it was like the first year. He should have won his rookie year slam dunk contest. Dominic Wilkins won that one, but it felt like MJ should have won that one. So this feels like it turns out this was just payback for 1985. Like his win in 1988 was payback for 1985 when he should have won.
okay.
So kind of works out, kind of evens out in hindsight. Because I always thought, oh
Okay.
man, like Dominique got robbed in '88. Yeah, it was all a setup because it was in Chicago and all that stuff. But it turns out there was a reason for that, besides the fact that it was in Chicago.
Yeah. Fun fact, that dunk contest, Dominique had on
Yes, he
Brooks
did.
basketball shoes that he won. Yeah, back when Brooks was making basketball shoes.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's crazy.
okay, so for my Saturday night, I'm going with the dunk contest as well, and I'm gonna go with Vince Carter's and one Tai Chi.
Ah, it's a good
Just,
choice.
I mean, it's hard to deny Vince Carter in any dunk contest. So I feel like you kind of have to go with those when it comes to the dunk contest. He's obviously one of the best dunkers of all time, and so his shoe fits in perfectly with that one. Now, for the
Absolutely.
wild card, this is the hardest one, because there's
This is
so
just
many other
everything. This is
options.
just
Yeah,
everything that
it's
we've ever seen in All-Star,
everything,
right?
and I just don't. It's hard to pick one. It's hard to pick one. So I'm gonna go with one that I have, and it's been in the studio for a long time, and I see it every time I come into the studio. I'm gonna show some love for Blake Griffin for his
Ah,
Hyper Dunks. His
yes.
I think this was 2011 Hyper Dunks. Hold on, let me look it up. Let me
Yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen those
The
in the
orange
studio.
pair.
Yeah. Was it the one he
Yeah,
wore at the dunk contest? Or
I
was
think
it
he wore
just
these
his
in the
E?
yeah, I think he
Yeah.
wore I don't know if he wore did he wear them in the dunk contest? I don't remember
Or
if he wore
maybe
them
in
in
the
the diaper
All-Star game.
dunk.
Maybe he wore them in the All-Star game itself. It's one of those.
Yeah, they're like bright Marengo pair, and so I think I think he wore them sometime at All-Star.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why I think of him, but it looks like I'm just looked him up. They released in August, but for some reason he had them on at All-Star. He wore
Oh, well.
it was to commemorate the 2010 dunk contest that he was in. Oh, okay, so that's where that
Oh,
came
okay.
from. Okay, that's the All-Star connection. I was like, I know they're somehow related to All-Star. So yeah, I have those in the studio. The Hyperdunk 2011 Blake Griffin with the glow in the dark accents and all of that stuff. Yeah, that's my
Nice.
pick.
That's cool. That's cool. So for my last pick for wild card, it's gonna be a tough one because yeah, I've had the privilege of being able to go to like a couple All-Star weekends that were in Los Angeles, but
Hmm.
I think I have to stick with LA with this one. And it's gonna come back to another pair that I've seen, and I know that you have, and I hate you for it. We've talked about this already like a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna bring it back up again because I just can't let it go, Jacques. I just can't let it go. It's the undefeated Kobe One Protro
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
in camo. It could be the green camo. It could be the regular camo. It's either one.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
yeah. No, it's a great one. Every time I see it in your studio, I'm just like, it
Yeah.
just pains me every time that I don't have a pair of those. And I remember seeing it like at resale, and I was like, it was still at a point where it was affordable. It was like $300. I was like, I'll just wait. It'll probably go down in price. It's not gonna. Now it's like in the thousands, and I'm like, I hate myself.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm like,
I got you. That's a good pick. It's a good pick though. It's
yeah,
a
it
good
is a
pick.
great pick. Yeah, yeah.
And there's
It's
so
just,
many. There's so many we missed. Like the Big Bang
oh,
was a good one.
yeah.
The LeBron 9 Big Bang, that bright orange one. That's a good one.
Hmm.
Um, what else?
Like the
What
whole
else did
stuff
we
in New
miss?
Orleans, like that one year, the Gumbo League stuff. There was a lot of
Yeah,
good
the New
stuff in
Orleans
there.
collection. The
Yeah.
the yeah. There's a bunch of good ones. I can't think
Like
of
I
all of
remember
them
even
though.
Reebok had like there was like one year where they had like stuff. I think it was like the New York All Star too, where they just had like a bunch of like good retros of like Shack Attacks, Kamikazes, and Questions. But there's just so many to choose from. But at the same time, like, there has been this malaise at the same, like, in terms of like just the current
Yeah.
releases.
Like
And
I
to
don't
see
even
that, with the
remember what
Warren.
released last year. Like I don't even remember what
Exactly,
released last
exactly.
year.
Like, I could have made an argument you could have picked the Kobe 3 Low Protro this year as, like, a pick because it's just nice to see that they're actually trying again, and I am quite excited, to be fair, I am actually quite excited for, like, the Kobe 3 Lows for
Hmm.
some reason because I never liked the Kobe 3 in general, but, like, somehow seeing them as lows kinda unlocks
Yeah.
something in me where I'm like, "Huh,
Yeah,
it
the
makes
Kobe 3
sense."
low works. Yeah, it
Yeah.
works.
It's almost like if they had just started the low thing a year earlier with the Kobe 3 Low, could you imagine just, like, how history looks back on, like, the Kobe 3s? Because
Yeah.
I feel like the Kobe 3 I remember my nephew, one of my nephews had a pair of the Kobe 3s, and he loved them because they were great performing shoes, but I just never liked the look of them, It was just, it's okay. I like the Kobe 1, of course. Kobe 2 was same thing, kind of diminishing returns, but the 3 was just, I don't know, nothing really. But as a
Yeah, the
low,
3 didn't stand out, but yeah, but as a low, it's like,
just
okay,
it makes sense,
okay,
right? Like, there's something about it
yeah,
just kinda works, and I've seen there's like I believe like a women's college basketball player that's currently wearing them, and it's like she's wearing like PEs, and I'm like, "Oh, not bad.
yeah,
Good stuff."
yeah. She played, I forgot her name, but she played a lot in the Mamba League that they do here.
Oh, okay. I see the connection then.
Yeah, she's nice too. She's nice, nice. I think her name is Aaliyah, maybe?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
Maybe?
it's Aaliyah. Wait, we're gonna go. Aaliyah Chavez.
Aaliyah, yeah, yeah, Aaliyah Chavez.
Yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah.
nice.
And she
She's
plays
nice, nice.
for Oklahoma right now. But yeah. So,
Oh,
I
yeah, I
see
thought
the
she was at
connection.
yeah, yeah, I thought she was at Arizona, but yeah, yeah. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
nice.
and like the first Google result is I've worn Corby since I was in the 6th grade. So yeah, and if she played in the
Yeah,
Mamba League, so yes, that connection makes sense. So
yeah.
I guess keep an eye out for her. Keep an eye out for
Yep,
her. She's gonna be rocking PEs for a while. So and yeah, Kobe 3 lows. Who would have known? Who knew that would work? Who knew
that
that
right?
something about those just makes sense, right? It's just man, huh? It's even
It's a good
better than
shoe.
sixes.
It's
It's
a good
even
shoe
better
on the
than the
low.
sixes. Yeah.
Alright. Alright, well, thanks everybody for watching the show today. Wanna say we appreciate you guys checking out the show. I know we missed a week, but we're back this week and hope you guys enjoyed it. This was a great episode. Lots of things going on, All-Star Weekend, so make sure you follow along over on the socials because we'll be tweeting and live. I think I'm live streaming some stuff. I don't know. We're just gonna try and have some fun and get a bunch of content out there this weekend so you guys can get a glimpse
Yep.
of what's going on around here. Yeah, I'm Jacques Slade. That's Juan, and I'll pass it off to him to do the shameless plug this week.
Oh, I'm doing the same as twice. Okay, cool, cool. If you have any questions, concerns, and all that good stuff, send the email to the too hard to pass podcast at gmail.com. That is too hard to pass podcast at gmail.com. That's the number two. And that is Jacques Slade at Cousteau, Kustoo. And I'm Juan Martinez at Easyville, Easyville. And I know
Yeah.
Jacques tried to talk over me when I said the thing that I said, but I'm going to let that slide. I think I have to formulate that thought a little bit more in the coming weeks or so. I just blurted it out. And yeah, Kobe threes are better than sixes. Anyways, uh, have fun, everybody. Have a fun All-Star. We might see y'all. Just say hello. Ask for a selfie. Yeah. Let's try to get the
Ridiculous.
over on Jacques thing with the selfie thing. Just
This
let's
is
get it to
ridiculous.
like 10 or like 11 or whatever. 10,
Bye,
10 or
guys,
20.
because this is just rambling
All
now.
right.
Bye,
We out.
guys.
We
See you
out.
later.